Hey guys, welcome back. Mike here from Mike's DVDs and Blu-ray collection. Today I've picked some movies randomly out of my collection to show you. So let's get right to it. First up, I got a movie released by Shout Factory. It's a movie made in 1981. It's called Nighthawks. Stars Sylvester Stallone, Rutger Hauer, and yeah, it's pretty cool. He plays takes place in London, and he's basically tracking down this terrorist played by Rutger Hauer, and it's got Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian is in it, and it's a pretty fast-paced cop movie, and kind of a cop special cop. He's coming to London. He's gonna get the terrorist. He's gonna get the girl. He's gonna get back with his model. I think it's his ex-wife, the woman played by Lindsay Wagner, who would have a big hit, throughout the 80s. But yeah, it's just a little, kind of an odd movie. I had never heard of it actually until recently. I guess I've never gone deeper into Sylvester Stallone's career. It kind of goes Rocky, then Rambo. It's like in between 76 and 80. It's like, what did he do? It's kind of like, so this is, TV Guide's movie guide said that this is a very effective thriller featuring a chilling performance by Rutger Hauer as the emotionless killing machine. So yeah, this was Rutger Hauer's debut in movies. Next up, I got the Universal 100th anniversary slipcase edition of The Sting. This came out in, I believe, the special packaging came out in 2012. The movie came out in 74, I believe, and was a big hit. This was a whole line of these slip cases that came out, and they would open up and talk about, they would have like a timeline. It's actually got a little thing here. In 1973, they opened up another attraction at Universal, the Universal Park out in Hollywood, the Universal whatever it's called. So yeah, it's got this little opening thing, little slip case. So yeah, it's a good movie. It's got Paul Newman and this guy Robert Redford, But yeah, they're teamed up. They're teamed up, and it kind of takes place in the 1930s, where they're going to pull off the con of the century. That's right, folks. And also, this has been digitally remastered from 35mm original film elements. So yeah, there you go, guys. So if you can find this edition, I thought this was pretty cool when I got it. I believe they restored it. It's not on a 2K. I think they did maybe a 1K scan or 2K maybe. I don't know how they did that. Anyways, The Sting. It was a big hit. Next up, I got the Kino Studio Classics edition of The Border, starring one of my favorite actors, Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson was pretty hard to beat in the 70s. I mean, he pretty much was the man. Just hit after hit, performance after performance. This actually was from 1982, where he's playing a border guard who's moving from California to Texas to try to have a better career, to get ahead in life. His wife wants to get ahead and make the dream home for him, and he actually they moved to Texas, and their next door neighbors, who's kind of living this life. One of their neighbors is played by Harvey Keitel. Jack Nicholson's wife is played by Valerie Perrin, and Warren Oates, one of my other favorite actors, plays his boss, basically. Forgot how they do that, like his commanding officer or whatever. But he kind of uncovers a scam that they're doing, where they're taking immigrants over the border for so much money, so that they can be basically sold off to people in California as workers, like maids and gardeners and stuff. And people are paying big prices for it. So they're kind of doing kind of like a white slavery type of thing, getting people over there. And he kind of uncovers this scam they're doing, and then they also are killing some of the competition, other people that are doing this. So Jack Nicholson's kind of got a pure heart, and there's a young immigrant girl and her brother, and he kind of takes kind of a liking to her, because he's kind of basically seen her go through all this stuff. So she has a baby and everything, and somehow the baby gets took from her. So she will, work for this other guy, like as a prostitute, basically, to get her baby back, which is basically a scam, because they're going to sell the baby to somebody too. So they're just running this awful scam with these people and stuff. And it's kind of like with everything going on in the news nowadays, with Mexico and the border walls and all this stuff. It's still kind of potent today and stuff. So it's a really good movie. Harvey Keitel's really good. It's kind of his shady buddy, and Warren Oates is always Warren Oates. He's good. So yeah, I recommend this. It's kind of an oddball film, just like Nighthawks. It was just the border. I'd never heard of it. So yeah, it's really good Jack Nicholson there. Next up, we got another good actor, good movie from the 70s. This is a movie called The Hired Hand, and this is directed by Peter Fonda, starring Peter Fonda, and it's also got Warren Oates is in this again. We got Warren Oates up in here, Verna Bloom, and director of photography is Vilmos Zsigmond, the famous director of photography he's done countless set movies in the 70s and 80s that are just bona fide classics. He kind of belongs in the class of the 70s who kind of revolutionized movies and stuff, and he's one of my favorites. But yeah, it's a small little film. It's kind of the follow-up. I think he did this after Easy Rider, and he's basically a kind of takes part in the Western frontier. He's a wayward husband. He returns home to his wife and child, but after rebuilding the family, there's a test of faith that happens, and some kind of forgiveness. Basically, so it sounds like a really good drama. It's got some. It's rated R, so kind of hard to describe. But if you're a fan of Easy Rider and Peter Fonda, and you're kind of following his timeline of movie career, then this would be right up in there. It's a small movie. This was also an odd movie that I found, looked it up, and had never heard of it, and got it and stuff, and it's really good. I kind of like getting odd movies sometimes. If it's got the cast, the cinematographer, director, then I'll take a chance on a movie and stuff. And usually I'll come out a winner, and I'm glad I got it. So there you go, The Hired Hand with Peter Fonda. And finally, guys, I got a classic from 1981. Yeah, it's Good Old Stripes with Bill Murray. This is a classic, man. I grew up on a movie like this with, Ivan Reitman directed it. It's got John Candy. Warren Oates is back in this. Got a lot of Warren Oates films. Of course, you got Harold Ramis and Bill Murray himself, and Stripes. Now, some of the locations was filmed in and around Fort Knox, Kentucky, and Louisville, Kentucky. Being my home state is Kentucky, it's kind of cool that, I know where those places are that they filmed at, which was interesting. I mean, I was about 5 years old, 6 years old when this was filmed, so it's pretty cool. Of course, John Candy being one of his earlier roles before he was going to have the breakout the next year in National Lampoon's Vacation. So it's a great classic of the 80s. It's got that writing team of Harold Ramis and Dan Goldberg, produced by Ivan Reitman and directed by Ivan Reitman. So there you go, Stripes. If you ain't already got this, I don't know what to say. There should be in everybody's DVD Blu-ray collection on their shelf somewhere. Now this is supposedly the extended cut, which apparently there's 18 minutes of deleted footage. And I guess you have to access it by special features. They didn't put it back in the film, unfortunately. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, Stripes. Go get it. So there you go, guys. Showing you some movies. I picked some oddball movies, except for Stripes. But these are some odd movies that I normally, even The Sting, I don't really think of The Sting a lot when I'm thinking movies and, history of Hollywood, but it's definitely one of the best movies of the 70s, and I believe the 70s is my favorite decade of movies, maybe the 1920s and 30s, but the 70s is a really fun decade, sorry. So let's recap what we have here. We got Nighthawks. We got The Sting, of course. We got Stripes. We got The Hired Hand. And we got The Border. So out of these movies, I recommend The Border most especially. So if you haven't got The Border, go ahead and rent that. Go find it. You can get it really cheap. If you don't want to buy it on Blu-ray, get the DVD at least and check it out. It's really good, especially if you're a Jack Nicholson fan. You haven't seen this. So. All right, guys. Well, if you haven't already subscribed, give me a subscribe. Give me a like if you like this episode. I do thank everyone who does tune in and watch my little movies, little videos I make. And just give me some comments, give me some feedback on what you think about these movies, or just what you think about the channel. I mean, give me some feedback, and I'll be back soon with another episode. Later, guys.